Omigyanatimirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshormilitanyena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. So here we are in SoCal Seva Ashram at the foot of Guru Goranga and Dari Guru Hanju. We had our Sunday program today, led by Srila Janardhan Maharaj, which was very enlivening. And now we've come to our evening program. We've been discussing Upadeśāmṛta. So we've come to the fourth verse, right? We went through the third verse, which is discussing the 6 favorable qualities. Okay, so we have to do our pop quiz then. Who remembers some of the 6 favorable qualities?
Conviction, enthusiasm.
Okay, oh, you remember. Very good.
Giving up bad association.
Oh, you have it memorized. Okay.
I want to work on it. Releasing bad association, but also being in good association and following the footsteps of the sadhus.
Very. Oh, wow. What was the first one?
Enthusiasm.
Okay. I have it all memorized.
Utsaha.
Pretty good. Pretty good. Yeah, utsaha, enthusiasm, nishchaya, conviction or confidence, dharya, patience or determination, tat karma pravartanat, following all of the helpful practices, sango tyaga, to give up bad association, sutogata, to good association. Okay. So we'll move on to the 4th verse today, and this is an interesting verse. It's discussing 6 types of loving exchanges, affectionate exchanges, which if we keep within a wholesome circle, will be very supportive of our devotional life. So what are these 6 exchanges? Dadati, pratigranati, guyam, akyati, prichati, Bunje vajayate chaiva shadridam pritilakshanam. Pritilakshanam. Shadridam pritilakshanam. Saying these are the 6 characteristics of love or affection. And then the exchanges that are described are to give gifts and to receive gifts. And then to to speak confidentially to someone, to share your heart, to share your mind and confidence, and then to hear in confidence also. And then the last 2, or the 3rd exchange, is to offer food and to receive food. And so the idea is that these are all quite intimate ways to associate with people, to give gifts, to share food, to speak confidentially. These are all intimate ways to associate with people. And if we do that with persons who are supportive of our spiritual journey, that will be very good for our progress. But on the other hand, if we have this type of exchange with persons who are not good association for us, then that will take us down. Because there's an energy exchange in all of these things. And so there's something to be aware of, to be careful about. And what I'm appreciating about this verse is that it's showing the value of having association, like good association, not just like in a generic way. Like you go to the class, you hear the talk, or you go to the temple, do your seva, meet devotees. You can be meeting devotees all day long, but not having this type of close exchange. And so to actually have like an affectionate relationship with devotees, and particularly those who are of a more developed of a higher stature than ourselves. That is very helpful for our devotional life, because for us to be able to make progress, we need to what we are at present has to be that what can I say, that has to be laid out on the table in a sense. Like, if we're not able to really share our heart with someone and express what our condition is, they cannot really help us. Right? If you just have this like superficial level of exchange where everyone has their walls up or whatever, then there's only so far you can progress. But if there's an affectionate Vaishnava who you can have faith in, you open your heart to them, then they can help you, they can guide you. Right? And then, through exchange of, food, prasad, exchange of gifts, these are also intimate ways of deepening your affectionate relationship. So it's a very, very wonderful verse. No, and I appreciated it very much. Our Gurudev, he mentioned this point once, that, because we always hear about having higher association, but our Gurudev, he mentioned once, but we also have to have association of someone who has affection for us, because sometimes we may experience that there are senior devotees, they may be very qualified, but they also may not care about us very much. Sometimes we may experience that. Maybe they're very great Vaishnavas, but they don't take so much interest in us, right? And then there's only so far we can advance with that level of association, right? So we also need association with Vaishnavas who have specific interest in our well-being, and they care about us. And I appreciated it so much when our Gurudev mentioned that, because that personal aspect, that aspect of having a personal relationship is very powerful, and that will also motivate us to try harder, right? When we see this senior Vaishnava cares for me so much, she's trying to help me so much, then we will feel more inspiration, more motivation to try to become something more. That's all that comes to mind right now. Maybe we could read some of Param Guru Maharaj's commentary.
Could you actually speak more about the speaking combination?
To say more about that.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't really understand that.
Oh, the idea means, that, on our journey, there will be many troubles that we go through, right? Different types of challenges we will face on our path. And if there is some Vaishnava that we're able to open our heart to and ask for advice, then that will be very progressive for us. If there's some Vaishnava like that we can trust, that we can put our faith in, and that we will happily take advice from, then this will be very helpful for us. Is that not clear?
So speaking confidentially is just about asking for help, but for someone higher, from someone higher than us?
Yes. And it may also be a Vaishnava who you may not consider they're so much higher than you, but they may also be like a comrade, right? Like someone who is like an equal, but they also have some insight. Preferably someone who is more advanced than ourselves. But if that's not possible, then someone we can trust, who also has some insight. You can discuss the situation, right, and come to some resolution together. What's the best way for me to resolve this difficulty. Right? But just that act of opening your heart to someone is very, very powerful. And they, and then they also, that other devotee, they also have their own wealth of knowledge. May not be a huge amount, but whatever they have is worth something. They can offer some support, some insight, some guidance at some level. There's one beautiful expression in Srila Śrī Upadeśāmṛta where he says to let the Vaishnava enter the workshop of your heart. Let the Vaishnava enter the workshop of your heart. And that is, of course, for Guru, for higher Vaishnava, that we want to offer our heart wholly to them. And they can help clean our hearts, help build our hearts. Take care, adjust our hearts. They can help us do that. Because if we can't do that, it can be like we're just living in an island, And we also, there may be, maybe that we've developed particular understanding of what Krishna consciousness is, or what the best way for me to proceed is. But because we're living like in our own islands, there may be some conclusions we've come to which are wrong. So to have like some reflection, right? Like to express what your thoughts are, what your feelings are to someone trustworthy, then they can give you some reflection, some self-reflection. Like, oh, well, actually, I heard this from Gurudev, I read this in this book, I think this is the proper way to understand this, I think this is the right way to deal with this situation. They can give, it's always healthy, right, to have some reflection from another living person, right? Because otherwise in our own minds it's not that difficult to concoct different things to come to erroneous conclusions. And then we also need affectionate support as well. We need affectionate support from others. When there's another comment of Gurudev's where he's saying, the material environment is very difficult, and on our own it's practically impossible to progress. And that actually we need the support of other devotees to help us move forward on the path. We need that affectionate support, affectionate guidance in order to go on. And it was also interesting to me. I saw in one talk. It was it's published in Sermons Volume 3. It's a book made from some talks of Śrī Upadeśāmṛta. And that devotee asked Śrī Upadeśāmṛta, so can you tell me what is the most powerful way or the most effective way by which we can make advancement in Krishna consciousness, something like this. And then Śrī Upadeśāmṛta started quoting all these verses about the importance of good association, of sadhu sangha. And then when he finished, he turned to that devotee and said, "Do you understand now?" And that devotee said, "Yes, you're saying association is the best way. Good association is the best way for us to progress." And then Śrīla Śrīdhara responded saying, "But actually, that is not quite enough." And then he quoted this verse from Upadeśāmṛta. This verse describing these 6 loving exchanges. I know how wonderful. Like he was saying, the association has to be at an intimate level. That you're really opening up. You're really having an affectionate exchange with the Vaishnavas. Then this, like our Gurudev like to say, heart-to-heart transmission. Right? So that medium of affection is very powerful in transmitting Krishna consciousness from one heart to another, right? You know, it's like if you just hear some instructions, like dry instructions from a Vaishnava, like how far does that really penetrate you? But it's like if there's a higher Vaishnava who has love for you, who knows your story, right, also cares about you, knows your story, knows your nature, you know, if they give you like a personal, customized instruction in an affectionate tone, that's highly penetrating, right? That will penetrate the layers of ego. That will make an impact on our heart, that will land on our heart. Right? And even if there's only one Vaishnava like that, you know, in our lives, that's very precious actually. That's not a small thing. Does that make sense?
Thank you.
Maybe I'll read something from there. Let's see. Let's see how long is this? It's not so long. I can read something from there. So this is collected from some talks of Śrī Upadeśāmṛta talking about this verse. How can we become intimate with a sadhu? We can increase our attraction and love for a sadhu by give and take. Dadati pratigranati. We can give the sadhu raw ingredients for their service and accept their prasadam. We can give items to be utilized by the sadhu and accept whatever is necessary for ourselves. We won't try to take anything new for ourselves. We will wish only for things that have been given up by Shri Guru and the Vaishnavas. Garlands, scents, clothes, decorations, or whatever. We will always try to use the remnants of the Vaishnavas. We will not try to utilize anything new. So, dadati pratigranati. We will present new things to the sadhus and try to live by the remnants they leave, their prasadam. Bimala lives that very extreme way, right? She was telling us the other day that all of the clothes that she has, they're given to her by devotees. She's a great example of that. And then the next, guyam akyati. Whatever be the innermost feelings of our hearts, we should divulge them to the sadhu. I feel so many things within me. Are these feelings good or bad? And if bad, what is the remedy? We could also say it's like you know, when you're treating a disease, right? It's the difference between like Googling it yourself and like self-diagnoses and self-treating, or like having a personal doctor that you go to and you share every detail of your symptoms with, and they take personal interest and suggest different remedies, and it's a completely different thing.
Right.
Seeing a living expert who you can have a living exchange with, right? Than just trying to look it up and work it out for yourself. We shall place our feelings before him so he may examine them and then go on accordingly. Prichati, we shall inquire from the sadhu, what is the secret of your holy life? Please tell me, I shall try to utilize it myself. How can I get out of my present circumstances? In your case, how did you try? Here my feeling is now such and such. What is necessary for me? What is good for me in this stage? Please advise me. We shall try to collect the secrets of the sadhu's success in life. Bhunkte bojayate chaiva. We shall feed the sadhu and accept the prasada. Whatever is necessary for the sadhu to maintain their life, we will supply that, and then continue our own life with their remnants. In this way we can become closer to the sadhu by both internal and external give and take. We supply the sadhu with raw materials and ready-made things, and we take from the sadhu higher things. In this way we can improve our position, whatever it may be. Shadvidam Priti Lakshanam. If we associate in these 6 ways with a bad man, we will become bad. And if we associate with a good man, we will become good. In a lake, there may be 2 types of water, filtered and filthy. Such waters come and go from a lake, and filthy water can be purified. Similarly, the higher sadhus can take evil thoughts from others without becoming contaminated, because in their hearts resides Govinda, and any quantity of filth can be consumed by him, the infinite, Śrī Krishna. He's saying the sadhu, the devotees, they are like filters. They will filter out all our impurities. And we will be cleansed from that. I think maybe we can stop there. We don't need to go too late. Short and sweet. So maybe I'll just read the standard translation. Dadati pratigranati guyam akyati prichati bhunkte vajayate chaiva shadvidam priti lakshanam. Giving and accepting gifts, discussing and inquiring about confidential matters, and giving and partaking of foods are the 6 characteristics of perfection. Let me see verse 4. Śrī Upadeśāmṛta. Okay, we can stop.